Oh my God, I think I'm actually live. Can anybody hear me? Well, there's nobody here. There's probably not going to be anybody here on this thing anyways, but you know, who gives a shit? I don't care. Let's see. That's in there. That's in there. All right. Friday night. Just signed out of work. I'm going to go get a drink. You guys want to join me? And come and join me. Great. So I'm doing this on my computer. Camera isn't the best, but hey, it's there. What we're going to do is we're going to come over here and show you what I got set up here, ready for the evening. So, right here, yeah, some gin and tonic. Now, you guys are asking me, hey, Matt, what's so special? You have gin and tonic all the time. Yeah, I do. But this is going to be the last one. This is going to be the last night that I actually do this because I've got something new that I'm actually gonna start. Look. That's right. That's my gin and tonic. I have this thing that I'm gonna do and a challenge. And why am I gonna do this challenge? I'm gonna do this challenge because I want to do this challenge. And what I'm gonna do is I am going to try to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. You guys can still hear me. But I'm going to try to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. All right? So that's why I'm doing this whole thing. I'm going to kind of explain to you how I'm going to accomplish that. All right? We're going to go outside because it's nice outside. So we're just going to go outside and hang out for a little bit. All right? Go out in the backyard, hang out, say hello to everybody and everything. It's a nice day out there. There we go. Now I got, there we go. I got my Bluetooth hooked up, so you guys should be able to hear me. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I'm going to accomplish this and what I'm going to, if there's something, anything at all, like if I start to get injured, if I start to feel bad, I'm going to stop. All right. But I have the Black Book of Many Things. And what I did in this little book is I've actually gone through and come up with a plan. And in that plan, obviously, I'm going to, it has all the food I'm going to eat, all the workouts I'm going to do throughout the month. Now, I'm going to start this tomorrow, and I just want to see if I can do it. So it's going to be done literally through nothing but being calorie deficit, and I'm going to eat the same type of stuff, but I'm not going to eat as much as I normally do. My workouts are going to get longer. Being a former endurance athlete, I think it's something that I can do. But I do have to watch it. I mean, I'm no spring chicken anymore. I'm at a certain age, and it can be quite tenuous sometimes when you're on a 6-hour bike ride, right? So I've been riding, I've been running, and I've been doing some CrossFit. So I'm going to stick with them. I don't like to swim anymore. I've swam way too much. So that's what I'm going to do. So I thought today would actually be, I just looked at how many people are in my live stream, and I thought it said 6, and I was like, holy shit, 6. But actually it said 0. That's pathetic. But what I'm doing this for is I have a friend named Susie, and Susie wants to lose some weight. She wants to start exercising and get a little bit healthy. Now Susie's all the way across the country from me. She lives in South Carolina. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually kind of in solidarity. I'm gonna do this with her, and I'm going to keep track of her, and hopefully she keeps track of me, and we'll support each other like people should do. Okay. Now, ever since I was about 50 years old, I turned 50. I really stopped, all the triathlon stuff, and gained a few pounds here and there. I stopped burning 4,500 calories a day, but I didn't stop eating 4,500 calories a day. It's really kind of easy to do. So I think if I bring it down to 1,200 calories a day, and I burn about 2,200 calories in exercise, I think that'll create the calorie deficit sufficient enough for 30 days where I can lose the weight that I want to lose. Now, I got to keep myself hydrated, so there's going to be a lot of water going in this guy. The first thing I'm gonna get rid of is alcohol. Alcohol can put serious weight on me. I don't know if it does to you, but it definitely does to me. I have that Irish blood, and that Irish blood, 1 turns into 9, turns into 12, and then I get hungry. So I'm definitely not going to be. Yeah, I got to stop drinking. Got to stop, seconds and thirds and things like that. Other than the second, and I got to get rid of dairy. I have a weakness for cheese. I really do. So I got to get rid of dairy. So when I get rid of dairy, I think that's going to be it. Because a lot of people don't realize this about me is, about 8 o'clock at night, I start to get hungry again. And so I've got to get a block of cheese and literally eat half of it. Okay, that's just how I am, Some of my friends like John Hyde and some others, they know that I can put away some food. And so I've got to clean that up. I've got to be disciplined in that way too. I got to go back to the old discipline I had when, back in the late 80s, early 90s, when I was competing in marathons and 5Ks, 10Ks a lot. So I've got to really just go ahead and be very disciplined in that category. So other than that, this is it. This is my last go with some alcohol. And then tomorrow it begins. God, this is going to suck tomorrow. Tomorrow. Riding at 6 o'clock in the morning hungover. Nice. Anyway, so that's that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to sit out here and I'm just going to enjoy everything. I'm in my backyard. House is right there. Turn it around. You guys might be able to see the pool and everything like that. Can you see it? Yeah. Look at that construction over there. Doesn't that just piss you off? God. There used to be a line of trees that went across the back right there. And with that line of trees, there was, oh man, there was all types of birds' nests. I mean, we had falcons, we had hawks, owls. I would hear owls would actually nest in this tree. They're not around this year, but they would sit in this tree, and then where they were, another tree down there, and they would hoot back and forth. That was actually kind of neat. On a really quiet night, you could hear them, and that was a lot of fun. They're gone, all of them. Those tractors came in, ripped all those trees out, and that's it. I mean, all those things gone. Now, we also used to have coyotes down in the hollow down there, and you could hear them at night. We'd have armadillos, Texas. So we'd have armadillos come up. They're all gone. That used to be a dirt road back there. And so that being a dirt road, you would actually, there were cars, obviously. I mean, not cars, but you could see tracks of things, especially after it rains. And there was always deer tracks. There was always just about every type of wildlife you could think of, that is native to Texas. I even saw 2 times, bald eagles. Gone. The hummingbirds don't come around anymore, all because of that back there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a huge cardboard cutout. They're going to build houses. They're going to be 2-story houses. Now, obviously, some of them are going to butt up to my house, some of them are going to butt up to my fence right there. And I'm going to put a huge cardboard cutout of my ass and sit it there. So when all those people look out of their back window, they're going to see my big ass. Bastards. So anyways, I'm actually not expecting anybody here. If anybody actually shows up, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to stay on for about a half hour, though, just to do this. I'm thinking about doing this, I don't know, once every 2 weeks, something like that. Definitely going to be, talking about my progress on my channel. The cooking's going to change a little bit. I'm not going to make it quite as much as I did before. And I might start to show, some of the recipes I might make for this. But, we'll definitely see. Discipline is big for me because, I was so disciplined until from the time, even in high school, I was really disciplined with what I ate. And I was so disciplined until about 5 years ago. And then it was like, whoa. So, it's like, oh my God, look at all this stuff over here that I can actually eat. Woo! And drink. But I don't know. We'll see how it works. Guys want to talk about music? Yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm getting texts. I got a text from a friend of mine. I don't know what? You're working? I have no clue what that was. A friend of mine, Tammy. I have no clue what she just said. So I don't know. So what else do you want to talk about? You know what I want to talk about? Music. I really miss music. Don't you guys? Don't you miss? I mean, the music these days is so homogenized and pasteurized and uncreative. And I mean, it's samples from something that was done in the 70s, put to a computerized track, and the person doesn't even have to sing because it's all auto-tuned. Auto-tuning somebody's voice is one of the worst things you can do. I mean, that just shows you how crappy the music is. Because if you have a singer that can't stay in tune, get rid of them. Get another singer. You know? I mean, Robert Plant, was he ever auto-tuned? No. But I think music is starting to reflect society, American society, where there's no creativity. There's no creativity. Um, there's no creativity. It's all been done before. It's all just very generic, and it's out for money. Think about this. Why aren't there, why don't bands travel like they used to? I can tell you exactly why they don't travel like they used to. Bands don't travel like they used to because it costs money. You're hauling around enough equipment. First of all, you got to buy the equipment. You're hauling around all this equipment. That's 10 tractor trailers worth of equipment. Then they got to put it up, set it down. That all takes people. But if you have some idiot rapper with some idiot DJ and a couple of turntables and maybe a couple of dancers, that's a whole lot easier to get around than, whatever. You have a computer there that actually has all the pre-recorded tracks, and that's it. Okay? But it's not good. I don't know where these people think it's good. It's not good. It is ridiculous. And even my mother, who, for a while was, she had a degree in music. She played the piano very well. She was a musician herself. I put some Rush on for her one day, and it was La Via Strangiato. She got done and she went, wow, those guys can play. Even though it wasn't her cup of tea, she admitted, hey, these guys are good. I can't see that. I mean, I play drums, I play guitar, not very well, but I can't see this stuff these days being good. All I see is something that's mass produced, has no heart, no soul, and it's just here you go. And it's easy to cart around. That's pretty much it. And that's what we have in society today. It's literally just a mass-produced, homogenized, pasteurized, uncreative, unhopeful pablum. Did I say? Am I wrong anywhere? Please tell me if I'm wrong. But it's the truth. I even liked sports better back in the 70s and the 80s. I think they peaked about 90s, and I think that's the same way about music too. I think everything peaked early 90s, especially with kind of music and football, and never really big into basketball. Don't care about basketball. I'll start watching basketball when they allow the opposing teams to tackle the guy shooting free throws. Then I'll start watching basketball. But other than that, have no interest in it. Baseball, I love a baseball game. Going to a baseball game, isn't that just the greatest? You have a beer there, you have a hot dog there, you're watching a baseball game, it's a sunny day, perfect, right? Yeah, that's where I am on that. So, today for dinner, I'm going all out. I got 2 pounds of ground beef out and some diced tomatoes, onions, green peppers, and potatoes. And that's what I'm going to have for dinner. I'm just going to mix it up, season it to taste, and that's what I'm going to have for dinner. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so good. I can't wait. And obviously, this is helping me with my whatchamacallit. So let's see what everybody has to say here. They're texting me. I was watching a while. That single was good. Where did you go? So anyways, so that's basically what I'm gonna do. I gotta get rid of this. What in the hell is this turkey neck thing right here? That's gotta go. That's these jowls. I get this from my mom. Bleh. Got those jowls from my mom. That's gonna just be terrible. What do we want to talk about now? Politics? You guys want to get into politics? Everybody talks politics these days. We really want to go down that rabbit hole. Yes. I want to go down that rabbit hole. You know why I want to go down that rabbit hole? I want to go down that rabbit hole because I have a very unique perspective. Okay. My perspective, as far as politics goes, I call it now the cult of the left and the cult of the right, because that's basically what it is. It's two cults. Okay. And I really don't necessarily like, I don't like Biden. I didn't like Biden in the 70s. I didn't like Biden in the 80s. I don't like Biden, and I didn't like Biden in the 90s, and I definitely don't like Biden now. Can't stand his policies. That guy does not even need to be anywhere close to the nuclear launch codes. But what I'm really mad at right now is the Trumpsters. Because, they're jumping all over Biden for this inflation, and they don't realize something. And I'll tell you exactly what they don't realize. This inflation is Trump's fault. Trump put $6 trillion on the it's the not only Trump but also the Republicans. They put $6 trillion on the credit card last year. Okay, $6 trillion. All right, and he went on a spending spree like nobody's business. All in the name of the beer sniffers. But you know what he could have done? Not done it. Think about that. In 30 years, who's going to pay that off? The baby boomers are starting to die off. Okay, they have all the money right now. What are they going to do with that money? Pretty soon, the government, our federal government, is going to be spending 50% of what it takes in just servicing the debt, just the interest on the debt. 50%. All right. So that means they're going to have to borrow more money to pay off the credit card. If you did that in your home, how long would you last? We all know where the Democrats are right now. Okay. But the Republicans are just basically in the same place. They don't care about the debt. They don't care about what they're leaving for your children or anybody's children. Okay. What they care about right now is scoring political points. And that's why when I was a kid, I never really was a Democrat. But I did kind of fall into the Republican thing as I got a little bit older. But about 10 years ago, I started really looking at it and saying, and I don't agree with anything they said either. So that's why I became an independent. This country is going to spend itself into oblivion. Just like France outwarred itself, Britain out-colonized itself, and the United States is going to outspend itself. It's going to out-debt itself. And I knew this was going to be a bad thing way back in 2001, 2002, when Cheney goes, I don't think debts mean that much anymore. The national debt doesn't mean that much anymore. As soon as he did that, wha-bam, you saw the debt explode. And it didn't stop. It didn't stop through Obama, and it definitely didn't stop through Trump. What a lot of Republicans these days don't realize is Trump is a 1980s tax and spend Democrat. That's exactly what he is. He really didn't give a shit about the Constitution. Okay, a little bit, but not really. He was not very good on gun rights. He was not very good on free speech. He didn't rein in the spending. Okay, he wasn't necessarily what you would call a Republican. Okay, what a Republican is supposed to be, and none of these people are. And so I left the Republican Party a long time ago. And what really hacks me off is when these Republicans are going, "Oh, in 2024 we ought to elect Trump again." Really? He's going to be 78. Okay. No. He's going to be like Biden, with one marble rolling around his head saying, "Oh, I drive good on Friday. I drive good on Saturdays in the driveway. I drive good on Saturdays in the driveway." That's exactly what it's going to be. These people need to get a clue. And I mean, Trump's over and Reagan is over. Reagan wasn't very good with gun rights either. Reagan passed a few things that were very iffy on the Second Amendment. And, he racked up a lot of debt too. And that's one of the things I started looking at, and one of the things that got me away from being a Republican. Another thing that got me away from being a Republican is, I hate to say it, the Middle East, the wars in the Middle East, the wars in Africa. I mean, my God, why are we doing this? Why are we in Syria? Who cares if that guy is a dictator? Okay. Listen, going over there and destabilizing that nation isn't going to make us any safer. It's going to make it worse on us. The same with Libya. We saw that. We saw what happened to Europe when Libya was destabilized. I mean, now they have massive illegal immigration, with the illegal immigration, blah blah blah. But it was just what they did was just bad. Okay, in Libya, and I mean the same thing is happening at our southern border. Nobody cares. Nobody really cares, man. It's sad. It really is sad to see what's actually going on. And there are people who, and this is the thing that bothers me, people that identify as Democrats, that, if their guys are in charge, they're all on board. But if the Republicans all of a sudden be in charge and do the exact same thing that Democrats did, oh my God. They're going from the highest yard arm. They want to hang everybody. And the same thing with the Republicans. The thing that bothered me about the Republicans during Trump is they turned a blind eye to the debt. That really bothered me. It's sad. It's really sad. I mean, really, we are 100. Our debt to GDP ratio is as high as it was after World War II. Now, the difference between World War II and now, at the end of World War II, most of the nations that we had to deal with were destroyed. They had no manufacturing. They had no production. They had no economies because of the war in Europe, Asia. Now, we're right for the taking. I mean, seriously. We are the ones, we have all this debt, and we're the ones that have no manufacturing. None. All that kind of stuff. I mean, 120% debt to GDP ratio. GDP is how much a country produces every year. Debt is how much your government owns. And 120%? So in other words, we have 120% debt compared to what our country produces. So think about this. What that means is if you had a credit card, you made $60,000 a year, which is a good salary. Don't care what anybody says. That's a good salary. You have $60,000 a year, right? But on your credit card, you have between $75,000 and $80,000. That's just rough calculations. On your credit card. It's just ridiculous. We aren't even talking about unfunded liabilities. In other words, in the next 30 years, the United States has $160 trillion of unfunded liabilities. $160 trillion. What? I mean, do you know what they're going to have to do to jack up the inflation rate to pay that off? I mean, that's all this is. This is jacking up the inflation rate. So more money goes into the federal coffers, and so they can pay off their debt that you, by the way, you don't care about, didn't vote for, because your representatives don't care about you. They care about them. Republican or Democrat, they care about themselves. That's all there is to it. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with the politics and dumb crap like that. Just ridiculous. You think inflation's bad now? Just wait until they really have to start printing money. It's funny, we're gonna be like Venezuela without actually being socialist. It's gonna be funny. So anyways, what should we talk about? Let's go. Can we talk about music again? Let's go back to music. You guys know my favorite group of all time is Rush, right? I love that group. We lost, sadly, January of 2020, we lost Neil. But the other guys are around. But one of the cool things about them is they always seem to be right where I needed them to be at the right time, when they were producing albums and stuff like that. And their albums always spoke to me. That was a good thing. That was a real good thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am really feeling this. Oof. I might have to end this pretty shortly. But I can always go back and I can always remember, certain albums and certain milestones of my life, and that was one of the great things, about that band. And let's talk about my favorite Rush solos. Number one. Okay, I'm going to start at number one. My favorite Rush solo of all time is on Limelight. What a great solo. It was just an awesome solo. My number two Rush solo, same album, Red Barchetta. Red Barchetta is my number one favorite Rush album. Then I tell you another great solo that really was kind of not a solo, but also still a solo, was Free Will. Free Will had a really good little thing going on there. And then the rest are basically just filled in with any solo from Hemispheres. The most underrated Rush album ever is Hemispheres. It's just an awesome album. That was actually what I played my mom, was was I played her La Via Strangiato because she didn't have to listen to Getty's voice, and I know that's a tough taste for some people. But she really liked that song. And then I played her also YYZ or YYZ for you guys and across the pond and to the north of us. She really liked that too. She thought that was a good album. So anyway, that's it. I'm done with this. This is hammering. I'm hammered. I'm so glad I'm sitting at the house. So anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done. You guys know where I'm going with this. I'll check in next week sometime. I just wanted to test this thing out and see if I could actually go live, and I did. And one person showed up. Thank you, Tammy. And we will talk to you later. And I hope you guys have a great